first match of the Wallabies tour was played at the world's most famous ground, Twickenham. The match commentator, Nigel Starmer-Smith.
Disappointing to see such a small crowd here for such an important occasion, with many of the London clubs in fact playing their matches at the same kick-off time. So anything but a full house as Jim Fleming starts the match, the Scotland panel referee, and London in the all-white strip. And the first ball away to touch from Australia goes out on the 10-metre line from Andrew Leeds. Immense height here at the line-out, and here two of the tallest, Cutler and Frawley. Cutler at the back, Damien Frawley at the front, marked by Edwards. It's knocked through, and that's good work. Edwards leads the way. Bates to Thompson. Good possession with Lazowski. On the inside is Skinner, and the drive on by Pegler, the London captain. Well set up. Bates switches it. Thompson. Bailey. Useful ball. Puts Campese under pressure. And London will be well pleased with that start, because if there's one thing they must endeavour to do, it's to disrupt the new Wallaby side and prevent them from settling down. So a mighty Australian pack with lots of options on the throw-in. It's Gardner who brought it in. Farr Jones. And Leeds under pressure. It drifts, but it's kept in play by Bailey. Harriman is opposite number, nicely done. Lazowski. Halfway line, down goes Thompson. London possession, Bates. Bailey, no one with him. Dummies to Clough. Brings it into his pack. Good loose ball again. Thompson, through from Clough. That was full-back Thresher, handing on to Harriman. Good breakaway. And the London division certainly looking lively and taking it directly at Australia. Anything but allowing them to settle down. Leeds has to recover fast as Bailey comes in again. It's a couple of metres out from the line. Pegler's there. Penalty to London, well deserved. Well, a tornado of a start by London division, as Australia kill it in desperation in defence. Leeds in all sorts of trouble, and a well-earned penalty chance. It could so nearly have been a try. Harriman there with that new confidence and electrifying acceleration. This is Stuart Thresher, who's in fine kicking form against Munster in the London Division warm-up match. One of the 7 Harlequins in the side. Thresher for first points. It's a good kick. Will it stay in? Yes, it has. No, it's off the bar. It dropped. And they have another penalty as Australia kill it again, and this time it's in front of the post. And Pegler realising that points are important. Look how close this was. It was curling in and just didn't quite have the legs. The wind, of course, against London in this first half. And Australia got away, but only in desperation were they killing the ball. And London have it in front of the post from Thresher again. And London need points to make this territorial early advantage pay. 3-0. A great first 5 minutes for London, and the all-important lead. Clean enough. Away goes Gavin. Farr Jones, nicely set up to Leeds. Campese's come inside for the return pass. It's too strong, but it's taken on by Gardner. Went forward. The Wallabies, a side of pace, anxious to stretch, despite what Bob Dwyer may have said. They will be an adventurous side. They've pace all down the line, and that was good on the break, but the ball not to hand. 4-man line called by Pegler again for London. Eckford, the second jumper, but they've got the height of Ryan at the back as well. Thompson rather man and ball, but it's away by Ackford. Nicely done by Bates. Sets up Pegler. Pegler with a chance here for London. Has plenty of support. Could have shipped it on a bit quicker. Ryan is there, but the opportunity surely lost by the delay on the pass. Well, with 5 London players together, that really was a golden opportunity. Farr Jones to Campese, acting the second fullback role, and that's why. Well, a real chance up the narrow side here with that ball slipped by Ackford well. What's the timing of the pass there by Bates? It really did everything for Pegler, and look, there are 5 men with him. You've got Leeds waiting, and surely a try was a virtual certainty here if it had been shipped on. Farr Jones and Campese with the switch kick, but it's really straight down Thresher's throat. Harriman beats the tackle well picked up by Thresher. Harriman again, and there's plenty of confidence here, and clearly London have a pattern which is causing Australia problems. Lovely the way he broke that tackle, and what a pick up by Thresher at full speed. On London's 22. Farr Jones, Walker. Toombs, the loop by Walker, set up well to Toombs. Out to Carrozza. Good tackle by Harriman. Ryan did well. Back to Bates. But they'll actually play a scrummage since the ball went forward. A good strike by Olver. What a valuable bit of possession against the head from Thompson inside to Ryan. Ryan, good running, risky pass, but it's kept alive by Bailey inside to Olver. Can London maintain the momentum? Bates has it. Bailey was in the line. Pegler too. Thompson from Bailey. Thresher to Harriman. And finally down off the hands of Lazowski, but good support play, and London clearly aware of the fact they must keep running at Australia and stretching them. So it was well set up here after it looked as though the move might well have died. Thompson put the long feed in, and then Bailey up there too with Thresher. As Australia come quickly back, Leeds threatening. Harriman, good cover. Has McBain to beat, and decides to take on half the Wallabies, but rather puts Thresher in problems. But it's still back, a good ball for Bates. And being the sensible scrum half he is, decides to put it away and stop the nonsense for the moment. Pegler. Bates, well popped up. Ryan tries to set it back to Rendell. It goes to Olver. Edwards and Pegler in support. Half-backs again. Lazowski, half through, just stumbled unluckily. But they have it again, and the pack are doing well. Pegler tries to keep it alive. It falls to Olver. What a good pass. Here's Ryan. Harriman outside, tries to draw the man. Leeds stands up. Harriman loses the ball. Again, so nearly by London. A minute plus injury time remain of this half. Australia scrummage under pressure again. Campese sliced it. Thresher. Harriman. Bit of room to move and accelerate. To Bailey, picked up well. Bailey goes for the corner. Campese shadows, gets in the tackle. The cover's there from Farr Jones. Good rugby. And the London set scrum has thus far stood up pretty well. And one against the head to Olver. That one straightforward. Walker. Grant setting it up. And Walker on the loop. This is Carrozza. Harriman. Tightly marked. Good follow-up tackle by Clough as well. Bailey is there, signals to Thresher to come with him. And Bailey goes in, then out. That's classical play. Bailey, Thresher, lovely reverse pass to Olver. Skinner in support, and London pile up the pressure again and are denied by the half-time whistle. Far Jones, Campese for the clearance. Huge power in that boot, but Thresher has plenty of time. Harriman calls to bring that switch. Clough, Harriman in return, onto Skinner, it went forward. Mickey Skinner has been having his leg pulled unmercifully, having missed out in the World Cup, not playing down there, missed out on England's tour in the Test matches, this being his first encounter with Australia. Verging on the 90 degrees on the wheel. Far Jones, Bailey and Campese. Bates, Thompson. And the pack have really set up some good ball. Well taken by Ryan. Up the narrow side they come again. Skinner looks for support, the ball just marginally forward on the pass from Ryan to Skinner. Campese from inside the 22. Missed again. Thresher and Harriman revel in this. Good pace, eludes Grant. Harriman chased by Carrozza. Still Harriman has with him Lazowski. Thompson, Edwards, it's still alive. There's a little shift kick of Campese who runs it out. And London so near again. And Harriman sparkling. Driving outside their 22. Far Jones. And Leeds. Oh, well taken. Harriman again. Rounds Thresher. Harriman on the loop. Brought down by Grant. Fran Clough. Midfield just inside the London half. Thompson with the dummy. Thresher in the line, trying to create something for Harriman. Well, creates it himself. Pegler in. Australia through Far Jones. Sharp on the break. And fed on from Grant. Good score by Far Jones. And that was really London caught napping. It's another for Olver. Dean Ryan on the break. Thompson. Skinner. Takes on Campese and wins it. Lovely pass by Bates. Lazowski. In the meantime, a bit of a dust-up on the near side, but it's Lazowski going all the way. Lazowski still 5 metres out. The support comes in. Clough is there. But Australia escaped through Campese and then through Toombs, but it's still in play midfield. Thompson, Edwards, not the fastest man on the field, but makes it available in turn to Ryan. Skinner, still stretching Australia, but London themselves running out of support players, but they have it to the open side now. Pegler, here goes Clough. On goes Pegler, deep into the Australia 22, in front of the post. London there in numbers. Australia looking a little slow to get back. Bates is held. It goes to Bailey, a chance for the corner. Bailey all the way. That's the equaliser. Persistence paid off. And a splendid London score with Mark Bailey, who was in this match in 81 against Australia with a great moment to round off superb London effort. Well, it was unrelenting pressure. First, continually stretching the narrow side, then to the open side, where Clough set it up, and there was Pegler driving headlong down the field, and it was from this position that London found themselves with the man advantage. Here was Edwards. Bates held, but still managed to get it away so well. Well taken by Bailey, and pinned his ears back into the corner. A chance to recapture the lead. Virtually from the touchline, Stuart Thresher stands at 7-all. It's a good kick. Oh, it's a beauty. Bates to Thompson. Lazowski. It's a long, weary trek across for Leeds. Well-angled ball from the 28-year-old Wasp. The man who came in with the unfortunate withdrawal of Jamie Salmon alongside me, who's right on the edge of his perch here and willing London home. They lead 9-7. They've 11 minutes to go. Nice pass, Bates, Thompson. Confidently to Lazowski. Pegler the link. It's carried on by Ryan. And again, London stretch the Wallabies and have possession from the pack. Floated through by Bates for Bailey to chase, and it hammers Australia down into their corner. That's Campese once more. It's not straight. The referee waits to see advantage. Beautifully taken by Olver, who's really a great ball player. Thresher on the burst. Thresher all the way. Has support inside. It's Pegler to score. Surely he has. That could be the one to clinch it. The captain of the London division side. And one has to hand full credit there to the refereeing of Jim Fleming, who played superb advantage, waited for it to develop, and thanks to Olver there, that lovely catch and setting up again. And Thresher's run, look how he took them on, and then when tackled found a man in support, and Pegler made it. So a captain's try to match that of Nick Farr-Jones for Australia earlier, and Australia are in dire straits now with less than 10 minutes to go. This to make it an 8-point lead. It's an important kick and he's got it. And Australia have to score at least twice. 6 minutes remain, plus a little injury time. And that looks comfortable for London. Their last victory over Australia, one has to go back to 1966, but they haven't got it yet. Gurley may have something to say about it, and Leeds now on London's 22. Possession for Farr-Jones. Walker, who's really not shown a great deal. That's a beautiful kick though. Campese, I don't need to gather it. Well, it was tailor-made, or should I say Walker-made. Magnificently judged kick, and Campese won't relish seeing this again. And there'll be attention for Mark McBain, which of course can carry on while the game continues. So while he's attended to, Australia try to salvage something from the line-out and set up perhaps a last attack. Lloyd Walker trying to flick through. We've not seen much of Richard Toombs, this 20-year-old, of whom much is expected. We've seen a lot of Harriman, and this is rounding it off. The triumph is sealed, and Harriman jubilant. With a minute and a half of injury time played, Harriman salutes the crowd, and London wrap up a famous victory like this. That lovely little burst of acceleration on the outside run. The smile's already there. He had to touch it down first, but that he did to secure a great victory. Just kept his feet the right side of the line. Game, set and match. Harriman, who brought a sparkle to last season, continues to do so in this. Could well be the last kick of the match. Stuart Fresher with the conversion to take it into the 20s if he gets it. That's the way to do it. The icing on the cake. The final whistle goes, and London triumphant for the first time over a major touring side in 22 years. And they've downed the colours of the Wallabies in their opening match.
The question hanging on everyone's lips was whether or not the performance of the London division had taken the Wallabies by surprise.
Certainly the London game was won well by London division, and having said that, there was a point in the game where we could have won. There was a certain try for Campese from a kick from Lloyd Walker and a fairly easy kick at goal. Now, if we picked up 6 or 9 points then, that would have been made a big difference to the run of the game. Hopefully, we might have gained a bit more enthusiasm, and the London team might have been a bit down in the mouth about it. So, we felt that London won very well, and they played better. London always had the courage of their convictions. I was uncertain at the end of that game whether we were not quite ready for it, or whether London had simply run us off our feet.
From London, the Wallabies moved north to Otley to face the Northern Division. It was a far better game than the few snippets we've been able to obtain would suggest. But what was becoming obvious, even at this early stage of the tour, was that when David Campese had the ball, the whole pace of the game was accelerated.
Well, a classic of its kind from one of the world's great wingers, and with the conversion points added by David Knox, 6-0 it was, and all was going sweetly, particularly when just a few minutes later it was a penalty goal from Knox to make it 9-0 after 9 minutes. But there the Wallaby glory was to end as the North rallied and came back with a vengeance as their forwards put in some superb play. Here they build up the attack again using the back row, and off goes Dewi Morris, the new scrum half, with support sweetly down the line as it goes via John Buckton, and the pressure builds up on the Wallabies goal line. The end result, frustration, and Owen Doyle, the referee, gives a penalty to the North as Australia go over the top. So with just a couple of minutes of the half remaining, it was a chance for Rob Andrew to turn that Northern pressure into points. That made it 9 points to 3, and North still very much in touch. The second half brought further pressure, and an Andrew penalty made it 9 points to 6 until a dramatic finale was to come. With 10 minutes remaining, it was the North very much in the driving seat again as the Red Shirts won more possession. It was away by Buckton, and this typical driving run up the middle as Underwood comes through from the left wing to feed John Buckton. Tremendous crowd excitement from the capacity crowd of this little ground, just some 6,000 people here hoping for another historic day, roaring their side on in front of the posts. Then an important blow came the North's way. They were hanging from the trees with the excitement building by the moment. Persistent infringement as Brad Burke put the ball in crooked to the scrummage again, and a free kick to the North. Dewi Morris of Liverpool St Helens there waits. The signal to his fly half is an obvious one. Rob Andrew drops for goal, and that makes it 9 points apiece. But that wasn't the end of the story. The fairy tale finish was still to come. In the dying moments of the game, and perhaps the last attacking chance for the North, a wonderful breakout spurred on by Will Carling, the support on the wide outside by Rory Underwood, Simon Langford the fullback, and then the man who was to shine again in a remarkable season for him, Dewi Morris, over in the corner for the winning try. What a sensational season it's been for the 24-year-old, formerly of Winnington Park, now of Liverpool.
I remember Bucko picking up the ball and he was looking to tap it, and I was shouting, no, 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 and he flipped it to Dowie and he made a little half break and gave it to me, and I just seemed to have ages to go. My little legs were working overtime suddenly, but I just ran and I got closed down, I think, and threw the pass to Rory and watched the rest from the ground. I thought Simon Langford was in actually when he got the ball, but he obviously turned it to Dowie and he went over, and quite an amazing feeling.
We've learned that they're beatable, very definitely. I think we've learned that they are a little bit disorganised at the present time. They're clearly a bit ring rusty, but the main thing we've learned is that we've got players who are quite capable of taking them on and beating them. I think we're better prepared than we've ever been before to receive a touring side, and I think that's the major difference. For the first time we've got divisions who are real teams. They've got team spirit, they've got commitment, and they've had the chance to play with each other for a couple of seasons now, and that's a major difference. And I think the contrasting games between the London performance and the North performance, but two superb wins nevertheless.
3 days later, the Australians found their feet at Sale against a hastily prepared England B side. The loss of the England B flanker Sam Hodgson was the first turning point of the match. The loss of Dowie Morris seemed to inspire the Australians, who raised the whole pace of their game.
And you may have caught the words of coach Bob Dwyer encouraging his side to scrummage hard. Walker round on Cook, in comes Leeds through the middle for the line, Leeds into the post and has got it down, and of course right on the post is fine at ground level. Leeds scores and the pressure finally pays off. So a good switch move here. Leeds had angled his run well to straighten it right up and come between Thornley and Pearce, and then riding the tackle of Thresher makes it to the line itself. And it's hard up front. Plenty to encourage the watching selectors, Clive Rowlands and Derek Quinnell here of Lions representation, and also Jeff Cook, of course, and divisional selectors. As England B come again, it's Thresher to Bailey, has Guscott outside, Bailey still, he didn't see him I don't think, but it's Thresher once more, trying to float it inside, and it's Campese, the master of the intercept, breaking away. The kick and chase, back goes Hackney, covering across. And rolling off is Gardner. Australia have possession, it could be on here. He's not the fastest man out there, but it's floated through to Tyneman. I thought for a moment it was going to Hartill. Tyneman gathers, now Lloyd Walker. Rather like seven-a-side. Cook trying to chip and chase. Thresher caught on the line, loses it. It's still loose. And finally Doggett concedes the 5-metre scrum. And 5 minutes plus a little injury time to add on. Australia have possession again. Walker. Cook almost getting it statically. Farr Jones again, Campese dummies the pass outside. Oh, that's beautifully done. That really was superb with the dummy. A touch of magic that the crowd generously applaud to certainly wrap up the game. And these little touches So Farr Jones and his old partner from many a day. Look at that. It's wrong-footed, a lot of them. And the crowd applauding Campese back. A little bit of nourishment, well deserved. So it's 20 points to 9. and for England, further encouragement with new resources coming to the fore. Lloyd Walker leads in the line, taken on by Tyneman. Penalty to Australia. That's how to screw kick a ball. Another day for the popular winger, who's very much his own man on and off the field. Gardner again. Farr Jones at speed. Has man over. Girvan in the middle. Formality for Grant. Could this be the turning point that they've been looking for these last 15 minutes, as they've begun to take control up front, so the backs have begun to flourish, and James Grant rounds off the try for the man who won his first cap against England. Farr Jones it was who spread it. Girvan kept it going, and by that time they'd worked the overlap, and Grant celebrates. So try number 3 of the second half, 4 altogether, and 29-9. This was how it came again, and this worked pretty well like clockwork, from Gardner's tap down to Grant's touchdown. There was the young Brad Girvan, whose centre partnership with Cornish, broken of course by the injury to Cornish. Grant to round it off. Now Australia in control. Lloyd Walker, and there the sweet passing this time. Lovely feed on the tackle from Campese. Leeds gets away from Buckton. Gardner. And I'd imagine that coaches Dwyer and Templeton are thinking this is a bit more like it, because it is. Cook. Farr Jones. Bit of spring in the heels at the very end of the game. Leeds. Even Frawley in the act. Leeds again. Tyneman beginning to run England B ragged as they run out of steam after the immense physical effort. This is Gardner, still looking a good player. And finally in touch. Oh, indeed. A penalty, in fact, given on that far side. Didn't catch the offence. Farr Jones tries the old Grant Batty type cross kick. It's Hackney versus the rest, and Campese it is who wins.
People don't understand. I mean, when you've played together for a long time, you've got an understanding of each other. And since Nick Farr Jones in '84's come into the team, we've got along very well. It was the same with Mark Ella and myself. So what happened was that Nick got the penalty. He got on the line. I sort of looked at him. He looked at me and kicked it. There's not much to it. There's not. A lot of people say, well, that's unbelievable how it's done. You know, have you practiced, or why have you done this? It's just instinct, or really he's taken a chance.
That says it all.
The B game was a game we really did have to win to get some sort of credibility into the tour. And for 3/4 of the game, it was a game where the result was certainly in the balance, and we were very disappointed in our performance in that period of the game. We were snatching at things, we were tentative, we played with no confidence, it seemed to me, and as a result made a lot of mistakes. Once we got a bit of a lead on the scoreboard, the guys seemed to relax, and on we went with the game.
The third match was played under floodlights in Bristol against the South West Division. We joined play with the South West leading by 6 points to 3. 2 penalty goals to Stuart Barnes, 1 to Andrew Leeds. Perhaps the best move of the first half came from a penalty taken by the South West. Having secured possession, they moved it along the 3/4 line, with Ralph Knibb straightening the attack and passing to Simon Halliday, the Bath and England centre, who had looped on the outside to score in the corner. With a further penalty from each side, the Southwest was still ahead at half-time with a score of 13 points to 6. The strength of the Southwest forwards was evident throughout the match, and the Australian halfbacks were always under pressure. Quick thinking by the Southwest right wing number 14 David Carr caught everyone napping with a quick throw-in, except for his prop forward number 1 Malcolm Preedy, who went over the score. An uncharacteristic mistake by Andy Robinson from this line-out gave Australia the put-in a useful attacking position, and they showed just how dangerous they could be. Andrew Leeds from fullback knifed through the Southwest defence to give his left wing, Paul Carrozza, the chance to show his pace. Another penalty by Stuart Barnes pushed his team even further ahead, and he was in action yet again as the game drew to a close, demonstrating the rewards of being always in support of the ball carrier. This win for the Southwest at Bristol was achieved in a less flamboyant manner than those of London and the North, but it was nonetheless convincing. Australia was still on the rack, 4 matches played and only 1 win. In Leicester, the Tigers ground was the venue for what was now a vital match for Australia against the Midland Division. This was the Wallabies' last chance to turn out their test team before their first international against England, only 7 days away. Injuries to David Knox and Paul Cornish had given the Wallabies management the opportunity to fly in as replacement Michael Lynagh, a player in the same world class as David Campese.
Down from Cutler, Farr Jones. Leeds having to hurry, finds Lynagh in support, that's sliced. Hodgkinson's there. Barry Evans. It's a good tap tackle coming in from Jeff Miller then. Midfield about 5 metres outside the 22. Thomas digging it out himself. Help from Mosses. Cusworth. Puts it high, Leeds waits, Hartley comes in. Anyone's ball, Miller goes down, gets back up well. Good recovery by the Wallaby flanker. Campese. Grant. Chasing through is Girvan. Tremendous work by Richards. Checked by Gardner. Cusworth spins it, dodge. Slips it neatly to Hodgkinson, and here's Evans. Cover is from Girvan. Campese breaks away. Cusworth checks him. Thrilling attack, counter-attack, and the Wallabies look for possession again. Just on the halfway line, Farr Jones, Lynagh. Hodgkinson with a bit of time this time, and gets and calls the mark. Thrilling passage of play. Thomas perilously close to offside, but stays on the right side. Girvan's pass was looking a little risky. Leeds in the line. Campese. Super covering by Hodgkinson. Short line out again for the Midlands. Richards taking up the scrum half role behind Cook and Bayfield. Cook stretches it, Cutler tackles. Midlands 22. Thomas with the clearance. Kept in play by Leeds. Miskicked it. Hackney. Switched nicely. Good support from Wells. On from Thornley. The drive by Peter Cook sets it up in front of the post. And it's finally buried in the pile-up. Adventurous play, good support work from the Midlands. 2 penalties to 1, the Midlands ahead. Bolton tidying up. Farr Jones, Miller. Well set back again. Liner through Cook. Campese in from the blindside wing. Campese still tries to find Campbell. Advantage played for the knock-on as Richards drives away. Thomas. Hodgkinson. Not in touch. Leeds. Recovers his own high kick from Farr Jones. Now it goes to Girvan. Girvan still could be on here. And Hackney superbly snatches it in the air to save the day. The Midlands line still threatened though. Australia's throw. Cutler at the back. Round comes Gardner. It's Thornley robbing again, but a chance. Farr Jones. So it looked as though the Midlands had avoided the initial danger as Thornley robbed it. But as we'll see now, it came back Australia's way. There's the robbing. Number 7, Thornley, had possession, but it's good work by Lawton that must have forced the ball away. The pick-up by the tour skipper, and his second try of the tour. Well, it was unlucky for the Midlands, but quick thinking by Farr Jones. And it's Australia that take the lead for the first time with just a couple of minutes to go of the half. 7-6 they lead. Four steps back, 3 across. Characteristic setup of Liner. Beautifully struck. Doesn't take him long to get back in the groove. Away by Thomas. Cusworth. Nicely fed to Evans. Tries to get around the outside. The covers from Girvan. Tyneman now on the counter-attack leads. Grant. Nice dummy. Inside is Gardner. And the pace building up here from the Australians. Cook it is now. 7-8 metres out. On to Bill Campbell again. Cutler in support. And perilously close to the Midlands line. They concede the penalty as they just dive in to stem the tide. Been impressed with Gardner from the start. That was his driving run. Grant, beautifully inside. Gets the pass away well in the tackle, copybook style. So with Tyneman marking Cook, the Wallabies hoping to give Campbell an advantage, one from the tail, but it's the Midlands throw. Thornley initially, John Wells. Now Richards. Feeds on to his pack. Good back row play. Thomas, Cusworth, dodge. Hodgkinson in the line. Hodgkinson, good acceleration. 5 metres out. But it's well won by the pack, and there's the second full back roll of Campese to the fore again. Ten minutes into the second half. 12-6 Australia lead. Michael Cook trying to set it up. Powerful play by Gardner. Well set back. Farr Jones misses out Cutler. And Campbell. It's Cook again to Liner. Girvan. Collared by Hodgkinson. Farr-Jones again, Liner, good pace, Cook. Grant in the line, has Gardner outside, Grant's through. Very abrasive run.
Even though comfortably beaten, the Midlands ended the match with a flourish. Dean Richards, their England number 8 forward, hammered his way over for the final try. On to Cambridge to meet the Combine England students, a team drawn from the best players in institutes of higher education. And there were a few lessons in store from that master of rugby, David Campese. Captain for the day, Campese decided to do just about everything for himself, and who's to argue with a player of such consummate skill? From this line-out drive, Campese once again hits the ball at great pace, leaving the students floundering. Good support from his forwards, and McBain, the Australian hooker, uses his power to go over in the corner. The try converted, Australia increased their lead. The score, 13 points to 6. An excellent piece of straight running and handling sent in Paul Carrozza unopposed for try number 3. By half-time, the Australians had extended their lead, the score standing at 20 points to 3. The students, although struggling against a much stronger pack of forwards, were still able to win sufficient possession to make a game of it. Perhaps they'd been watching Nick Farr-Jones and David Campese at Sale with this tactical kick to Tony Underwood, and they were unlucky not to score. The students continued to show tremendous spirit, and their willingness to support each other was rewarded with a try for Rupert Moon. However, they were still trailing by nearly 20 points. Back in the students' half, the Australians attacked down the blind side, punching a hole in their defence. Some excellent running and handling from Brad Burke, David Campese and the Australian forwards made it impossible to resist their attack, and flanker David Carter drove over the line. With a Campese conversion, Australia now took a commanding 25-point lead. Minutes later, winning the loose ball, they moved it rapidly to the open side and with an outrageous miss-out put Campese into space. The result was a foregone conclusion. Yet to their credit, it was the students who had the last word.
New Zealand 1, France 2, Australia, Wales 3, Australia 4, Fiji 5, Scotland 6, England 7.
It's the morning of the international. The coaching is over. It's now down to each player to prepare himself. At this level of competition, most sides start fairly equal in terms of skill, so it's down to the team that wants to win most, the team which is in the strongest mental state. Each player has also to face something of a personal duel with his opposite number. For England hooker Brian Moore at 5'9" and 14 stone with 12 caps, the contest is against Tommy Lawton with 35 caps, at 6'1" and weighing somewhere between 16 and 18 stones.
Well, obviously his strengths are that he's particularly big for a hooker. He's immense, he's bigger than both his props. And apart from that, he throws into the line out very well. I mean, he has got big targets, but Lawton seems to just flick the ball. And he stands, if you see, he stands with both feet parallel, right on the touchline, doesn't take any movement in, and more or less lobs the ball into the middle. Fortunately, I suppose, for hookers that play against him, I don't think the Australian scrum is particularly good, certainly technically, so they don't use his weight as effectively as they might do. But I mean, just holding 18 stone up, I mean, he says he's 16, but he's not. Just holding that amount up, obviously, is a strength as a sapper, and that's the only difficulty you find, is that you have to work constantly. Each scrum, there's very little chance of a rest. But having said that, if he was stronger, and if he put more effort into the scrummages, then it would be a lot harder accordingly.
For England scrum half Dowie Morris, the contest against Australia's Nick Farr-Jones will be their third meeting in 10 days. But this is Dowie's first international cap against Nick's 29th, and Nick also has the experience of successfully captaining his side against England on 2 occasions in the last 6 months. Against such odds, I asked Dowie how in his wildest dreams he would play on his debut.
In my wildest dreams, we'll score a couple of tries, maybe the winning try, but hopefully we'll put it beyond doubt before then. But just to have a good game personally, maybe get the better of Nick Farr-Jones. I was lucky enough probably to catch him 3 or 4 times at sail, because I think probably the only flaw that he's got, or maybe have got, whether someone points it out to me at a later date, is he takes it out of channel 1. Unless it's controlled and unless his sort of open side or blind side flanker has put his bottom out to stop the scrum half coming round, there's a sort of a place there where I could maybe get in and disrupt his ball.
I think probably I should pay a little more attention to the opposition scrum half, maybe try and pressure him a little more at the base. I tend maybe not to concentrate so much as you get some scrum halves who like to spoil the opposition, who put as much pressure on the opposition half as possible. Others will probably look at creating play more themselves rather than trying to spoil. And I suppose that's what the style of halfback I've been over the years, but certainly on Saturday I'm up against a new cap, and the more pressure I can put on him, obviously the better.
The scrum half is a key player. He's got a lot to do, as you said, a lot of skills. Where does the captaincy come in?
Well, I think scrum half has got to do a lot of talking irrespective of whether you're captain or not. He's really got to be the eyes of the forwards, and he gets first use of the ball. So, it's my decision whether we go short or whether we go open, really. Whether I give it to my standoff or I give it to a loose forward. So really, it's captaincy, I hope, only is required when we're in dire straits, or whether, if we get well ahead, to keep the lads going forward. And that basically is my responsibility as scrum half, I see as well.
Nick, for a man who is clearly a world-class scrum half, you've been very quiet on this tour. What's happening for Saturday?
Oh, well, I hope, that I play well and the team plays well, obviously. That's the important game, and, hopefully you save your best for the important ones.
In immediate opposition to England winger Andy Harriman, another new cap, the Australians are fielding David Campese, 39 caps and one of the top players in the world with a record of 126 points, including 26 tries.
I think his main strength is the fact that he's a different type of player to the normal winger or the normal three-quarter, really, in as much as he expresses himself on the pitch in his own inimitable style. Therefore, it's very difficult to defend against somebody when you have no idea what he's going to do next.
Andy Harriman does have speed on his side. In September, he recorded a time of 20.9 seconds for the 200 metres, and his performance for London showed how elusive he can be. But David Campese combines his electrifying speed off the mark with an uncanny positional sense acquired through playing in 39 internationals. Even so, he does make mistakes, and this leads some people to suggest that he's purely intuitive.
I think they're correct in saying David Campese is intuitive, but also he's a very knowledgeable player. He studies, he stands back, and he's waiting for the time to strike. He's a great believer in his own ability. He's exceptionally fit, he's exceptionally strong, and he's got superb acceleration. David looks after his body very well in terms of what he eats and what he drinks. You know, he's very conscious of that part of his fitness. But he also does weight training, a lot of strength training, I should say, and he does a lot of running, a lot of acceleration work. He's a naturally gifted player, but he keeps himself in tune. Now, he does work hard, he's always eager for work, and obviously he's eager to play. He loves playing the game. You know, David would play every match on tour if we allowed him to. And I think that enthusiasm, that desire to play, is absolutely essential in any player, particularly an international player. And he's got that. He really loves the game. He loves really going out, as I call it, expressing himself. And if he's expressing himself, he's going to enjoy himself and he's going to give his best.
This is our ground, this is our time. It's our game. It's not revenge, you know, from the summer. This is our time. Let's go, let's feel it in here. Let's go, let's concentrate, let's be cool. Real channeled aggression, channeled concentration. We know what we've got to do. Let's be hard. Let's go.
Top man. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All the best, lads. Come on.
In selecting any team, you must have the right blend, the right ingredients, and some of these qualities are not always obvious.
I've always liked a player that, well, you can sense, I think, a hard bugger. You know, you can pick who's hard and who's not, I think. And they don't have to talk tough. Particularly, whether it be back or forward, you can smell them, I think. And as Mark Lane always used to say to me, when we were picking teams, he said, you always pick the blokes you'd want to go over the top of the trenches with. Now, I suppose that's getting to know people, isn't it? I suppose what it really comes down to is basically the guy that you feel will not let you down in a crisis. One of the unknowns is really what I call that mental toughness, that mental hardness of a player, which I believe is terribly important. It can revolve around many things, but that desire to do well, that desire to keep going, no matter how hard the contest is, of never giving in. It's like a puncher being floored and being able to get up off the canvas and keep coming back.
Nowadays you can buy a replica shirt in the RFU shop, but it's quite a different matter to earn the real thing. Each player is wrapped in his own thoughts.
One of the buzzes is playing in front of 60,000 people. That isn't, that's an automatic adrenaline flow. If you become inured to that, if you become immune to that, then I don't think you really are on the right sort of wavelength to play international rugby. That's one motivation. I think the others are all personal. The amounts of vanity, pride, and that sort of thing, things which are personal to me. Just wanting to keep the place, and obviously there's an element of you being on the pitch and people watching you, and you do. It would be wrong to say that you don't enjoy the admiration, you don't enjoy the fact that people are coming to watch you on the field, and people have paid money to watch you, because you're not, after all, we're not professional sportsmen, and that is one fillip that is open to us, perhaps more so than if it were our bread and butter and our wages.
In half an hour, the decisions of the selectors will stand the ultimate test, and in particular the choice of Will Carling at the age of 22 as captain of England.
Well, first of all, we see first-class playing qualities. He is, in my view, already a world-class player. I think in the eyes of the rest of the world, perhaps he hasn't achieved that status yet, but I'm quite convinced he will. He is clearly, therefore, in our view, likely to be a fixture in the England side for the foreseeable future. His talents are enormous, and I think that's terribly important when you're choosing a captain. The guy has to have the respect of the rest of the team. He has to be sure of his place in the side. He has to have that sort of credibility. Now, given that, Will has also got personal qualities which, to me, earmark him as a natural leader. So I think all those things, really, he was a man that we could identify as certainly taking us through this season, and as far as I'm concerned, he's the sort of character that can now go right up to the World Cup. And already, I'm delighted to say, he seems to be justifying that sort of judgment.
And what about Will's reaction to his role?
I don't know, I suppose it was sort of a shock. It's sort of something that, once you get capped or whatever, or once you start playing rugby, I suppose it's everyone's ambition, to captain and sort of get capped. And it's sort of all the feelings you had for years and years just sort of flooded through my mind. I thought, my God, I've actually done it. It's incredible. In the last few minutes, or even in the change room, I don't know if a lot of stuff goes into players' minds. I think they're so caught up in the fact that they're there and they're going to be out in a few minutes. I suppose what I will mainly be trying to do is to calm them down, just so that they're actually thinking when they're out on the pitch. I don't want people running around like headless chickens. I want people actually thinking about what they're doing, what we're trying to do as a side in certain areas of the pitch. So hopefully just a calming influence before we get out.
Okay, boys. Got a ball.
I've got it here. I've got the red ball here. Right now.
Come on.
And as the kick-off approaches, just 80 minutes remain before the result will go down in the record books. But it's going to be a tense time for the man who has guided them towards this challenge.
It's probably the most frustrating experience that you'll ever come across in rugby. You've been so much involved in the build-up to a game, and then you're absolutely helpless. You just have to sit there and watch events unfold, and you go over again, was there anything more that we could have done to help the lads get through whatever problems they're facing on the field, and just hope that everything's going to go well for them.
For the third time in a row, David Bishop referees Australia and England. from New Zealand, this 40-year-old, and a rare hat-trick. Webb it is who starts for England, and immediately Andy Robinson. Player who's really imposed himself on the game, Andy Robinson of Bath, with his dashing breakaway style, and taking England for the first line out about 20 metres from Australia's line. Lawton throws, Richards has it. Dewi Morris's first touch, Andrew, this is Carling, trying to force a way through, is held. Midfield, 20 metres out, this is Dewi Morris, no shortage of confidence here, and wins a penalty, Australia offside.
Well, a tremendous start by Dewi Morris, the new scrum half, that he shows that his great strength is breaking very close to the set pieces, and he just showed that superbly well there, and also a good play by Andy Robinson in his first game at Twickenham.
So Jonathan Webb with a chance to put England ahead after just 2 minutes of this match. 84 points for England already, including 18 penalties. Will this be number 19? He's missed what should have been an easy chance, but a nerve-wracking moment for him, and the disappointment of an easy 3 points missed. 24-year-old, and the line out, palm back by Tyneman. That was Robinson through on Farr Jones. This is Wade Dooley. 6'8" policeman. Farr Jones again. Pumping up again, Webb. That's nowhere near touch, chance of the counter-attack, and Campese loves them. Past Underwood, and Carling it is covering. Played it into the 22. Seems to have recovered from his early knock. Robinson and Jeff Miller, the two number 6s, Richards and Tyneman, old adversaries, world-class players at number 8. Halfway line, Lawton, no problem for Dooley at all. Dewi Morris has another go. England packing good support. Morris, lovely feed to Andrew. Mismove to Halliday, Underwood in from the left wing, that's Webb in the line as well, Harriman. Great tackle by Campese, but it's still loose. Fly hacked through by Andrew. Campese back in the 22, knows how to play the second full-back role. But adventure again from England.
Yes, and really if John Webb had timed his pass a little bit better there, because it just shows what a good defensive player Campese is then, because he timed his tackle superbly well on Harriman. As you say, Nigel, plays like an extra full-back.
40th cap today for Campese. England cut it to a two-man line. There's the new cap, Ackford at the front. Wade Dooley, blood bespattered at the back. It's Cutler's tapped down. A scrummage in 15. David Bishop with words to Steve Cutler. Nick Farr Jones, Australia's captain. Leeds kick charge down by Robinson. It falls luckily for Campese. In a tangle though. 10 metres out, England pile in. On drives Probyn. And again it's a penalty for England.
And just look at Andy Robinson here, great back row play, charges the kick down. David Campese tries to run his way out of defence, but is caught by Rob Andrew there. As he goes down, then it's actually David Edgerton who picks the ball up. He pops it up. If you look for the prop forward, Jess Probyn driving through the middle, and in trying to kill the ball, the Australians go over the top. But really, the referee should have played a little bit more advantage there, because England had won the ball, and he could well have come back to give them the penalty.
Well, that just shows you the pace of Andy Robinson, and really causing Andrew Leeds a nightmare moment. But unhappily it's led to an injury to David Campese as Jonathan Webb waits. Of course, play can continue. Greg Craig, the physiotherapist, is attending to Campese, but play continues. Webb. This time it's bang on target. And England worthily lead, 3 points to 0. It's McIntyre probing at the front. Deflection by Gardner. Farr Jones, sensible option. Saw the path blocked by Robinson. He's really getting amongst the halves. Richards is in there, wheeling it around. Morris with the dive pass. Webb, Halliday, Harriman. Harriman against Leeds. Tries to pop it inside, it's gone forward. Robinson will be pulled back. And that's why he's there to take them on. Neatly done, beats Grant. Makes room, but doesn't make touch, and that's critical. Campese it was over there. From Liner to Campese, what a good pass to Farr Jones. Andrew Leeds hasn't really the pace to give real chase here, but it's put England back to their own line. Halliday puts it away.
Now the places on the pitch where you really want to win a line-out, and this is one that the Australians will be absolutely desperate. You see Tommy Lawton there just checking with Nick Farr Jones to make certain that the signal's right and is altering the jumpers. This is a crucial throw for both Australia and England.
The world's biggest hooker, 18 stones, and mobile, 36 times capped. Lawton on Australia's throw on the England line. Down from Cutler, Farr Jones, Liner, through from Cook, Gervin in the middle, half through, Leeds is there for the try. So a momentary relapse in the England defence, allowing Australia through.
Nick Farr Jones gets the ball away, and it's the typical Australian loop move that I think we see David Campese threatening to come in the line there. They miss him out, give the ball straight to Gervin. He half breaks through the tackle and just pops it up there to Cook to score by the post.
So England suddenly back on their heels, having had all the game territory to this point. Australia's first real attack, the mismove in the centre. Gervin does well here. Watch how he passes off the ground in the tackle to feed Leeds for the try. Michael Liner never misses those. His second game on the tour, he's just slotted in as of old. And Australia then with the first try and a 3-point lead. Liner, 345 points for his country. Dewi Morris tempted too far. Over-eager and offside. So once again it's Michael Liner. That's a fine kick. "18 points in the first test against England in the summer with 6 penalties. About 12 minutes of the half to go. Australia 9 points to 3 ahead as England mount the attack again just outside Australia's 22. Good work by Dooley. Andrew Carling. Underwood in from the blindside wing. Underwood still tries to find support to Halliday. Robinson chips on, Harriman knocks on. It would have been a try. He snatched at it just a touch. And the try denied.
Lovely ball by Wade Dooley here, but look at the inside pass here to Rory Underwood. He pops straight through the middle there, splits the defence.
Charged down by Robinson. The try is for Dewi Morris on his debut. England come back. And the 24-year-old, the new scrum half, the scorer, the man who made it once again, the swashbuckling Andy Robinson. Not the most promising of situations, but look how fast England were through on the untidy Australian ball. Morris, the scorer. Jonathan Webb. It's all square at 9-all. Half an hour played, and England bounce back. So it's 9-all as Liner starts the second half. Jonathan Webb. Well, he's got into a good groove with his line kicks. The 25-year-old doctor from the Bristol club. Australia cut it to 4 men. Campbell, Cutler in the middle. Goes over 2 of them, and it's Dooley for England again. Richards sets it up. They come on the rolling ball through Probyn and Moore. It's good work. Morris hesitated a bit. And Richards decides to set it up again on the halfway, this time to Andrew. Rebounds off Cook or Liner. Andrew recovers, gets back on his feet. That's good. And England's back there just a bit quicker and in greater numbers. And smuggle it away, Dewi Morris to Webb. Halliday to Harriman with Campese. Snuffed out.
David Campese is such a good footballer that every time Andy Harriman gets him, he cuts him down very closely and closes the space down on him.
England's 10-metre line. Cutler. Loose ball though. Farr-Jones finds Liner. Cook puts it in before the tackle of Robinson. Webb, Harriman will run. Good support. Dewi Morris, he's away. Dewi Morris with Webb. The pass is bad at the feet of Andy Robinson. What a shame. Well, great support running and confidence in his own ability to make the break. First by Morris, then by Robinson. Liner. Webb. Harriman under pressure. Fly hacks it on, it's up by Underwood to Halliday. Underwood again. Great tackle by Farr-Jones. Andy Robinson to try and swing it back England's way, he does. Morris to Andrew. Underwood once more. Finds the path blocked to the supporting Carling, but stays on his feet, gets it to Moore. Carling now. Engulfed by Wallaby jerseys, but once again it's back. Good work by the pack. Halliday, Webb in the middle. Gardner with the tackle. Paul Ackford, Dean Richards, Jeff Probyn, Andy Robinson, Brian Moore, Wade Dooley. All the pack getting in on the act, but still they have it again. Rob Andrew, Underwood this time. Webb, it's intercepted by Campese, who else? And no one will stop him. Rob Andrew will try and narrow the angle, but it's Campese on the breakaway. We've seen it before, we saw it at Sale on this tour. That's international try number 27. And David Campese, the man who on his own can turn defeat into victory, and now restores Australia's lead on the intercept.
Well, absolute tragedy from England's point of view that they've had all this pressure. Look, Jonathan Webb gets the ball there, slips it up straight to the one man that England didn't want to get it, David Campese. And once he got hold of this ball, it was game, set and match.
The 7th try of the tour, and almost repeats of the try he scored up at Sale. With Australia still not the greatest strength centre field, England come at them now. Halliday, Carling, pincer tackle. Ackford, Andrew. Underwood, is he clear? Underwood it is. Does he make it to the corner? They'll await the touch judge's decision. The try is given. That pulls at level Rory Underwood with his 12th try. 7 of them, now 8 of them this year. And that was vital, great bit of skill.
Well, it's bad play by the Australians. They threw the ball to the back of the line-out, and there are a man missing in the middle because of the injury to Cook. And a good drive down the middle by Halliday and Carling. As the ball comes out here, it's Rob Andrew that makes this try. He commits the men, he goes around the outside and pops up a lovely little pass there. Now Underwood's got a lot to do here. Now did he touch the ball down? He's outstretched with his left hand, and he was quite right that the ball went down before he touched the corner flag.
Well, great play by Rob Andrew here from the set-up ball, because he makes that half break, and look how well he timed that to get it round the man. There was only James Grant to come in the cover, and there, it's a good decision by the referee. It's a great try by Underwood. 13 all, a chance for Webb to put England ahead. It's just not the right side of the post. It stays level. "17 minutes remain, no knock on. Harriman spins it to Richards. Good driving run by Richards, gets the pass in well to Edgerton. More mobile England pack. No! Underwood again! Underwood for the corner, yes! No doubt! What a brace of tries by the flying officer. And England are ahead with just over a quarter of an hour to go. They come back in style.
Well, it's a tremendous counter-attack here. Look how Dean Richards drives through a couple of defenders and makes the ball available, and we notice that Brian Moore now comes up on David Edgerton's shoulder. They did a great forward play, and there's my man of the match so far, Andy Robinson, who commits 2 defenders before he puts it out to Rory Underwood, and he's got Nick Farr-Jones and David Campese, but nobody's going to stop this lad, and there's no doubt about that one as he touches down.
17-13, Webb this time. It's not a bad kick. It's a great kick. 19-13. And what tribute one must pay to the England pack in the build-up to that try. Quite outstanding was Dean Richards, but then the likes of Brian Moore and Andy Robinson. Yes, work well rewarded for Dean Richards. And a great round-off by Rory Underwood, the pilot. Webb. It's a bad touch miss. Leeds. Liner don't write off the Wallabies yet. It's a 6-point lead only for England, and that's pinned them back into their 22. Scrummage is on England's 10-metre line, midfield. 10 minutes to go. Richards. Morris to Webb. Trying to play England deep into Australia's half, but Leeds. Webb again. Farr-Jones. Dummies to Liner, feeds to Grant. Grant with the dummy. Rebounds off Underwood. So 2 second-half tries for Rory, and no way through for Grant. Tap back by Tyneman. Hartill setting it up. Get on the England 10-metre line. The minutes tick away. Liner. Cook to Gervin. Tackled by Andrew. Liner on the support pass. This is Cook again. Campese outside. Campese against Harriman. Knows he's not going to get there. Floats it in speculatively, and Dean Richards is doing the corner flagging bit. Thumping tackle from Farr-Jones. England get the penalty. There's Australia pile in. Less than 8 minutes to go. Plus a little bit of injury time, not much. And England in sight of a great triumph. The first over Australia it would be for 6 years. Three tries to 2 in the tally. From Morris to Rob Andrew. Andrew leads. Campese goes for the little chip and chase. Plenty of England jerseys there. Australia throwing caution to the winds. And Miller's turned on the wrong side. Well, a vital kick now for Jonathan Webb. With about 6 minutes to go. This would mean Australia have to score at least twice to get back on terms. For a 9-point lead, Jonathan Webb. It's looking good. It sure is. The vital one. And that's an indication of the celebration that may lie ahead now for England. Good work by Ackford. About 5 minutes to go. Well, again, one reiterates the thumping defeat that England suffered in Australia only last June. 28 points to 8 then, but what a comeback this will prove to be. 22-13 England lead. This new-look side, young, adventurous, and here's a star of the piece, Andy Robinson. Will Carling, the new skipper. Paul Rendell, the veteran, trundling over the halfway. Dewi Morris keeps his head in every sense. Carling is met over. Andrew Halliday Harriman. Held by Leeds. Carling again. This is Robinson once more. And now it's Ackford. 10 metres out. England possession comes. Dewi Morris to Harriman. Still keeping possession, Brian Moore. Driving on is Edgerton. 2 metres out. England have possession. Dean Richards goes for it himself, is held and sets it back to Morris. The dive pass to Andrew. Thrilling play. Halliday, what a tackle in the middle by Brad Girvan. Still England look for repossession. And they must beware a breakout here. Gardner. That could have been a try given away with the drop. England running themselves into the ground and almost exposed. Having so nearly scored the try, it could easily have been a breakaway by Australia. Spectacular performance. And that's really one of their great passages of play. Carling is back in action after a bit of attention from Kevin Murphy. Australia's possession. Farr Jones throwing everything, caution to the winds. Girvan. It's a clever little chip. Harriman with pace, but Girvan gets the bounce, tries to get the ball away. Andrew just has to stand and take it, lies in the end to take it. Campese in there to dig it back. Australia still going, they're not beaten yet. Farr Jones. Andrew leads with Grant outside. Grant against Underwood. Grant goes and gets. James Grant to keep hopes alive. He'll put it down under the posts. And that surely will make it a conversion and 6 points in the dying moments of this match.
Yeah, Nick Farr Jones here quite cleverly goes back there, and you notice here that Andrew Leeds, the fullback, gets it, times his pass well, and this guy Grant must be quick because Underwood's no slouch, and he beats him on the outside, and quite cleverly and quite rightly he goes straight underneath the post to give Michael Liner an easy conversion. But as Nigel Starmer-Smith quite rightly said, they're not, you can't discount these Australians till the final whistle goes.
Liner, there's the extra 2 points. 3 points the difference, and the referee's attention called to the England skipper Will Carling. Looks like a bang on the cheek. We're 2 minutes away from the whistle plus any injury time, and this was Grant with his third try of the tour. This winger converted from centre had the beating that time of Rory Underwood to keep a light at the end of the tunnel for Australia. Great try. Carling just a touch groggy, but restored to the fray for the last couple of minutes. It's 1 minute plus injury time remaining, and it's 3 points by which England now lead only. 22-19, Australia have possession. Liner pats it on, does Brad Gervin, and it's Gervin again to Campese. Campese, Harriman shadowing him. What a grandstand finale this has been. England praying for that final whistle. Nerve-tingling moments to match those of the opening forays. 30 seconds and injury time. 41 points on the board and only 3 between the sides. And we've seen 6 tries to keep the crowd riveted to the spot. And it's Australia's put in. And remember, any form of score would do for Australia now. A penalty, the drop goal, or of course the try to put them level. Farr-Jones to Cook. Webb covers, takes it brilliantly, sets off on the counter but steps in touch. But he got the possession, that was the vital thing. Lawton hurrying.
A vital line out here that this could change the game, that either side if they were to win, that it's one that England must be desperate to win.
Tyneman has possession. Farr-Jones, Liner, and that's Miller getting the pass from Cook. Dowie Morris to Carling, England in possession again, Carling away, great run, surely it's on now for Halliday to wrap it up. Simon Halliday, his first try for England, seals victory over Australia for sure. And they've deserved it. But what a way in which to put the final nail in the coffin. And what joy for the 28-year-old from Bath.
Yes, once Will Carling had the ball here, the try was going to feel a formality. He broke through 2 or 3 tackles, timed it extremely well to Simon Halliday, who's got to run in there for 45 yards to seal victory for England in what's been one of the most outstanding international matches for a long, long time. Thoroughly deserved by England.
In front of the post, and a formality. 28 points to 19. That surely sees England safe as we play more than a minute of injury time. This was the joyous moment for Simon Halliday. He could afford to coast in and set the seal on a famous England triumph. I'm not going off the field, believe me, says Will Carling. And can you blame him? The 22-year-old, the youngest man on the field, England's 5th captain in 8 games, wants to see it out despite the doctor's demands. And the referee, in fact, is asking that he should do as he is bidden. And he's getting a complete standing ovation. All round the stadium, they stand to applaud the New England skipper, given the job for the season, and the way he's playing, it'll be till the World Cup in '91. As play restarts, John Buckton stands to await the call. Can he get his first cap for England? The Saracen, who was on England's tour party but has only reached B international status, comes on to get that first and all-important cap. With Carling off, with a couple of minutes of injury time played, it's England with a 9-point lead. 28-19. 4 tries to 3. And this has been the renaissance of England rugby that the divisional matches had given optimism and cause to believe could come about. And the full national side have fulfilled it. Here's Webb. We've played almost 4 minutes of injury time and England run again. And what a refreshing sight to see England running at the opposition. They did at the tail end of last season. And there it is. England salute their triumph. A thrilling encounter that has certainly put England back in world terms on the rugby map in a big way. And there is the man who spearheaded it, Will Carling, with the England team manager Jeff Cook. Sad for him that he wasn't out on the field to see the scenes that now greet the England triumph. But a massive performance by the England side. What a day for the new caps. Dowie Morris, Paul Ackford and Andy Harriman. Desolation in defeat for Australia. Wade Dooley there, Ackford the new boy, the policeman pair, Webb with the vital kick and the old man Rendell.
About 10.
Just to illustrate how crucial fitness is at all levels of the game, but particularly for the international player. The performance yesterday just wouldn't have been possible by England players 12 months ago, and it shows how much our fitness has improved by working hard on the programmes, by testing the players regularly and letting them know how they were, where they were and the sort of work they should do to improve. And the message is clear. You know, England can be so much better, and that means that the whole of English rugby, if players will work harder at their own personal fitness levels.